Hello everyone, how's it going? So I'm here with the legendary Charley Grimes. Now he's been in this hobby for how many years now?
Oh, 65.
65 years. And how many fish have you bred? You probably know hundreds.
I don't have a clue. 100.
Oh, it's amazing the things this guy has done and knows. So hopefully he's going to share us some tidbits and give us a little tour of his fish room.
Okay. Well, basically, if you want to take a quick scan around the edge of the fish room, before I got all screwed up along the outside rim of the fish room, all those spaces you're looking at right there were 30 longs and 15s stacked up. But now that I just can't get up on a ladder and do anything, I gave them all away to quit tempting me to put more fish in it. So now I'm guessing I have maybe 120 tanks, something like that going. This is a 260, and it's probably the heaviest, physically the heaviest tank I have. I got it from a guy, and we had a moving company come in and move it in for us. I think it weighs about 700 pounds.
All glass.
Yeah. And it's got the New Guinea red rainbow fish. My mind just blanked out, and it's just some oddball Danios that I didn't know what else to do with, and they seem to get along with rainbow fish. And then a whole bunch of ancestors.
Oh, these are the different, some of these are spotted.
Yeah. I don't remember the name, I never do.
What are those? I can't rememher them either. They're beautiful, and this one has some orange on it.
Yeah, they're
like the
nice
striped
fish.
orange.
They're real active along with the Irigai rainbow fish.
And tons of bristle nose plecos.
Now the two plants in there, the tall one is the Cryptocarina ponegetifolia. That gets, the leaves will get about 4 feet long eventually. And then the bottom ones, which the ancestors started finally cleaning up like they should have been, are Cryptocarina momeni. That's a real nice plant. It's about as big as it gets.
You don't really see those often anymore.
No.
Same with this one. What do you know what this one is?
Well, that's the momeni.
That's the momeni.
And the other
so
ones
this one is.
The other ones are what I call Cryptocarina shed eye, because I conned a guy to let me grab a handful in the background room at Shed Aquarium.
Really?
So I don't have any idea
so
what
you
the
just named them
is,
shed eye.
so I call them shed eye.
That's awesome.
Now, a plant to your right, that's the one I just got in the 15, the first 15 right there.
Right here.
That's the like I said, I just had a brain fart. That's Hygrophilia pinnifidia.
The pinnifidia, something like that.
Yeah, it's really starting. I don't know if it's even got roots started yet, but now it's getting some light and so on. It's really looking good. I think that's going to be a super plant.
Oh yeah, they'll get real colorful too. Zigzag rainbows, are they in here?
No, the labels lasted longer than the fish did.
Okay.
Basically, I put these labels on to make my wife happy. She thinks all tanks should be labeled.
Yeah.
And she doesn't, since she's not into fish, I don't have to keep the labels up to date. I can just go with it. Those are just
as long as they're up there.
As long as they're up
keeps
there.
her happy, right?
Yeah. Those are just mutt guppies that I've raised.
Okay.
We had a real cold spell and I lost quite a few of them.
Oh yeah, I got hit.
That's there again. That's life.
Yeah.
Now the fifth tank over is some little. In fact, I thought they were baby guppies, but it turns out I've got some sort of swordtail in there. It's probably a mix of stuff. I don't even know what it is, but since they look nice, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, some of those, like that one's
they all
beautiful.
turn out to be pretty nice, shouldn't they?
So are these the females to them?
I don't think. I don't think they've declared themselves yet.
Huh. That's wild. I like those. More guppies?
Well, yeah, she apparently ate her babies, or something, because I had a bunch of babies, but they may have got lost during that cold spell.
Yeah.
This next one was a post. That's an offspring I got from a purple dragon guppy, which is I think the purple dragon had a lot of endless livebearer in it, just between you and me. And that's the only one that's finally survived, and I'm trying to put a bunch of yellow red-tailed guppies in with it just to see what happens. So.
Nice. I love doing that with.
Anyway,
I started getting into it.
I'm just supposed to be having fun.
Exactly. That's what it's about. That's why I started getting into endlers and live bearers more, because you can create certain things and it's really fun. So what's going on here? Like a little
that's
sump
my
filter?
sump. I've got three different sumps here in the fish room.
Okay.
And those were made with 30-gallon feed troughs from Tractor Supply. And that was one of the...
Oh, so you got a float on there too? Is it all automatic?
Yeah, I shut it off. It was just driving me nuts. So I didn't like the way it was doing stuff. So I went back to doing it manually, draining it and siphoning and doing stuff like that. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I like to change my water, just because you get a better clean.
I took 11 15-gallon tanks from here, and that's kind of my stuff to keep my operation to keep stuff up off the floor. So if I get water on the floor, which I do all the time, I don't lose anything by just making a mess.
And your racking system is really different here.
Yeah.
So what did you use?
Well, it's slotted steel, and there used to be a guy on the southeast side of Indianapolis that sold it, and I bought it. I made a bunch of money at one time on a parallel looping. I'm talking about $5,000 a year for 3 years before the male finally killed the female. So I had all this money, so I didn't have any reason not to go ahead and spend $2,500 on this slotted steel. So.
Oh, that's not bad though, really, for this whole fish room.
Then if you want to turn around and look at the long distance behind you, that rack there is 24 feet long. Yeah. And I had in my mind I was going to buy 300-gallon tanks and have the tank manufacturers up in Noblesville come put them all together. I was going to make myself a 300-gallon tank that was 24 feet long.
Wow.
It never quite came together, and that's probably one of the luckiest things that ever happened.
And that would have probably been glass or acrylic?
They've been all glass.
Yeah, they would have been super heavy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
So it's built
cool
to hold that kind of weight.
Yeah. All right.
And there, right around the corner, there's the kind of lights I was making with twisty bulbs.
Oh yeah, dude.
Daylight balanced twisty bulbs.
Yes.
And
you know what?
They work real well.
This is what the hobby's actually missing, and I'm a big fan of these CFLs. Like they grow plants like no other.
No, they don't. The best I ever saw was clear glass bulbs with tungsten.
Yeah.
That were around 50 years ago.
Okay.
The clear glass bulbs, they had no phosphors in them. They were just emitting whatever the light bulb was turning out, and I grew better sword plants with them than I did with all this new stuff.
Interesting, because to me the CFLs have always been better than my T5s.
I agree.
And definitely my LEDs.
Yeah.
But especially the 6,500 Kelvin temp on them.
That's what I was getting.
And man, so what did you use as the backing here?
Oh, this is a gutter.
Gutter, okay.
That's a rain gutter.
Yeah.
And then they have that tape that's got, aluminum on it.
Yeah, the
and that's what I
reflective
used
tape.
to make a reflector. And I was using that in the whole fish room for a long time.
Oh, I can bet that worked well.
It did.
Yeah. All right.
And then that's a 75-gallon tank that has Pseudotropis demasoni in it. And I think I'm going to trade them out to a friend that wants some demasoni, and I'm going to get some red Pseudotropis zebra to replace them.
They're all over this too.
Different. Yeah, there's a lot of them in there.
Beautiful fish. This is a unique tank.
That's 110 I traded for a guy that, fortunately, it's never leaked. They say they're bad on leaking. It's got native fish in it. The fish in there are young primary black shiners. That's a fish from the North Carolina mountains.
I see an ancestors.
I don't have enough ancestors in there. It's got all that.
Oh, I see them. Oh yeah, those are beautiful.
They get about 5 inches long.
Yeah, I was about to say, they look smaller than...
I'll end up sending you a picture just for fun. I took the pictures so you can do whatever you want to.
Those are beautiful fish. I've always been a fan of those. And I like how you're keeping it for them too. I bet they love that.
I think so. I love it.
Oh, they'll breed like crazy in there.
That's the important part.
Yeah, exactly.
And this tank, that's a tank of long-fin white clouds. Hopefully you can find a female in there. I think there is, but I haven't looked.
Those are absolutely gorgeous.
There are females and males in there. So.
And what's your favorite method on breeding these guys?
Put a pair in a tank with a bunch of cover, and either wait a week or wait to see babies and feed them, at least once a day, and then pull the adults and hatch the tank. Sometimes you get 1 or 2, and sometimes you get 50.
So kind of like playing musical fish. That's how I like to breed. Yeah. Lots of beautiful plants.
And this tank is just a water storage. I've got 2 more like the 75s. Just put water in them overnight, and then I use prime or something else. The city water has just proven to be deadly for my fish, no matter what I do. So I just let it set overnight, and then I use prime and do double sure. It's double work, but at least I keep my fish alive.
Yeah, that's the important part. I recently had to put in like a water treatment facility, pretty much just to be able to trust the city water anymore.
Well, I'm not willing to do that, nor am I willing to go with an RO system. So
right.
I'll show you my imitation RO system in a little bit.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
And this one, I just gave all the fish in there. I had a bunch of gigantic sunrise platies, and now all I've got in there basically is just temple plant and that little platform I built. I thought it'd be a good way to feed worms, and the fish could get to the worms, and I could still grow plants.
Okay.
And it kind of works.
That's smart. Tons of babies in here.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, I'm a big fan of feeding these guys canned green beans.
Oh yeah? Love the green bean method?
I just buy the cheapest green beans I can, usually at Aldi's, and they seem to go for it, and it makes me feel better about it.
Now, do you usually cook it, or do you just throw them in?
Throw them out of the can. Doesn't make any difference. If we have any leftovers from eating at the house, I put in carrots, I put in green beans off the table, just rinse them off.
Right, almost like compost.
One thing that's kind of interesting I've done, I didn't get a chance to go out here and do it. We bought some frozen broccoli, which turned out to be ugly looking. It tasted okay, but it was ugly looking. So I've been feeding, I steam it in the microwave. I've been feeding it to my ancestors. And the next day, if they don't eat it all up, it smells, like cabbage, like bad cabbage or something like that. It really, the fish will get it, and another day the smell's all gone. But if I overfeed it,
yeah, rotten vegetation can get pretty rank real quick.
Rank.
I know that from experience. But boy, you weren't kidding when you had a lot of baby ancestors around. Looks like some more white clouds.
The more long-fin white clouds. I just ran out of time to do all the stuff I want to do.
So many of these with the shorter fins, are those the females?
I think those are females.
Okay, because it looks like this guy's got his 2 little females back here with him, and all these are just kind of hanging out.
But surprisingly, maybe I've never done it right, but I've never been able to get any really good results for gang spawning. So, but if you raise 50 at a time, you ain't doing too bad.
No, not at all. I completely agree on that, especially with white clouds. Some nice platies in here.
Yeah, those are some tuxedos and just some regular platies. I just put them together to be together. And I'm gonna move some of our new rainbow. I got some New Guinea rainbow, not New Guinea. So I Swazahezi or whoever, a red one that I'm gonna move over there. I'm shuffling fish around, so I'll leave these ancestors in there with them till the rainbow fish get big enough.
Nice. Man, those things are everywhere. Oh yeah, here's a whole nother tank full.
You see why I can be generous?
Yeah, oh yeah. You're not short on them, that's for sure. You got some peacock gudgeons in here? Alright.
And unfortunately, I raised a bunch of them in a tank with shrimp. And before I got them all caught out, they'd eaten most of my shrimp.
Oh yeah,
their babies had. But anyway, I think I've got 1 or 2 females in there and the rest are males.
I found that these guys really like rock piles too. They'll get in the tiniest cracks and breed in rock piles.
I've always just done the little cave,
PVC
little short caves I made with PVC. So
I see it capped them off too. Maybe that's why, because I always did the PVC method, but I never had any luck because I never capped them off.
I've always had to cap it off, or they just slid through.
That makes more sense. Yeah, see, I was doing it wrong the whole time. What are these?
Those are Cyclosoma sahica. I don't know what, it might be Cryptoheros now. I just refuse to get involved in that name game. But those are little, about half-grown sahica. They get real pretty when they get big.
I like the decorations.
Yeah, that's my granddaughter's influence.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome that she gets involved. Love it. And you got the matting filter going here?
Yep. Got a lot of matting filter.
Yeah.
This is another closed system with about 15 tanks on it. The sump is this 75-gallon tank down here.
Okay. So how many systems do you got going here?
3.
3?
This one here is for the 300-gallon tank all by itself.
Okay.
That's another 30-gallon feed pan, and a friend of mine made the filter setup. Which
I'll be showing you guys that 300-gallon tank here really soon, and it's pretty awesome. So you're gonna want to stay.
Those are rainbow shiners, and for some reason they haven't colored up. I've been doing water changes on them. They've been laying eggs, but I haven't got them to color up. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm doing it every day. Wrong.
It could just be the substrate, since it's blue down here.
Yeah, but they looked great last year.
Yeah.
Over the same substrate.
Maybe if you can get like maybe a little bit of black gravel on there, it'd make them pop. Because I've had some rainbow fish where I've kept them together, same 2 types, but 2 different substrate. Light substrate on one side, black substrate on the other side. Looked like a completely different fish because they would whitewash themselves out the look and blend into the environment more. That's why if you see in my fish room, a lot of it's black. Yeah. Yeah. Because it makes a big difference.
Well, this is a color that makes me happy, but maybe it doesn't make them happy. I don't know. That's the adult albino ancestors, and they're all hiding in there somewhere. So I'm expecting them to cough out another 50 or 100 babies.
So it's just this pair making all those babies?
Well, actually, there's a male and four females.
Okay, so he just stays busy.
Yeah.
Nice. Looks like you got some shrimp.
That's
all right.
Shrimp tank.
Almost brought.
Got all them darn peacock gudgeons out there.
Almost brought you some shrimp, but I didn't know how you'd feel about it because not everybody's in.
Real.
Would you have been?
Yeah, I would.
I'll remember that next time. I was gonna bring you some of the blue ones.
That'd be more fun.
Beautiful.
I think I can make this into a pretty nice planted tank.
So you just have matting filter on the bottom of this?
No, that's just gravel. They're just growing.
Okay.
That's another one of my trying to set up a planted tank of a place for fish to eat, or a feeding place.
Okay.
It worked out kind of good, kind of bad.
Yeah, it's the edge I must be seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now you got your crips going good too. Look at that wint eye. It's actually bullated. That's how you know they're old.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's nothing but duckweed in there, I think.
Yeah, lonely cherry shrimp in there.
There was, but I don't know where they're anymore.
She's hanging out. She's beautiful too.
Well,
very
good.
red. Oh, there's 2 in there.
Maybe I better start doing water changes.
Yeah. Oh, they don't mind no water changes. They like dirty tanks.
And is some young red laser rainbow fish.
All right. The Wapongas.
And so far, yeah, so far I haven't got any good eggs out of it.
Yeah.
I'm getting eggs, but none of them have tied up. So.
Maybe just need a little more time to mature them. It looks like you got spawning mop in there and everything for them. We're set up. That's a unique style tank. I like it. For being a 30, it's a shallow 30, just really deep. Oh, these Cory cats.
It's got a male and 6 or 7 female panda Cory, a couple long fins, and I'm getting good eggs, and I've hatched a few babies out of them.
I've never
been picking them. I'm leaving them in Indianapolis tap water, and they eye up just fine.
Really?
And mature and hatch, and so far they're living.
And for those that don't know, Indianapolis tap water is super hard. Super hard. And I've never seen longfin panda Corys in my life.
Now that's not my preference. I like the short fins better, but a lot of people like long fins.
So you just keep them up in there and you just pull them up every so often?
Them off. Except now that I've had a few days I haven't done as much maintenance, I feed them a lot of white worms and frozen blood worms and just flake food. And every couple of days I can pick 12 to 15 good eggs.
Nice. And this water's constantly running because it's just circulating through the whole system?
Recirculating through, yeah.
That's
They got,
nice.
I think that tank has, no, it doesn't have a matte filter in it. I took the overflow strainer off, so all the duckweed would go out, so I don't have any duckweed now.
You know my little trick for getting rid of duckweed? Spraying the top of it. It hates to get wet on top of it.
I didn't know that. I know water lilies don't like to be constantly wet, but I didn't know duckweed.
Yeah, if you keep them wet. I use carbon excel. The floor.
You baby, well you can see it moving around.
Oh yeah, man, they're zipping around.
That's panda Cory.
Oh, so cool. So that's what a little baby Corridors looks like if you guys never seen one. There he goes, zipping around. Looks like you got some baby peacock gudgeons in this other one.
Oh yes, those are the ones that was eating all my shrimp.
Oh, of course, they go to the other side. Like, I know you're trying to take my picture. Let's see if I can get a shot of these guys.
Need the glass clean, but those are pork chop rasboras instead of like the heteromorpha.
Yeah.
And the pork chops actually, I think, color up better than the heteromorpha, but they don't get quite as big.
Are these also known as like the ESPYs?
No.
No, a little different from them.
I think.
Beautiful.
I've never tried spawning them, but I think they're really nice fish.
Who's this guy in there? Is that a type of
Well, that's
beta?
that's one of the mouth brooding bettas.
Okay.
Betta, I can't think of the name of it. It doesn't make any difference. I'm not going to recall it.
There's quite a few of those. It's a neat tank. I like it. Anything?
And these two tanks are that's a couple male white cloud or a female white cloud, longfin white clouds. Those are some female guppies that I'm going to have some project in mind for them. I haven't figured out what it's going to be yet. And those are a bunch of female Avicennian Gardneri down there. Either way.
Those are beautiful fish. So you just clearing these guppies out so you can work them on projects?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Been doing the same thing.
This is a wine cooler and this is a under-counter refrigerator.
There you
Both
go.
of them kind of El Cheapos. That's where I raise my white worms.
Oh yeah. Nice. So they're eating good.
So I raise white worms and grendel worms. I can't show you anything because I haven't been out here taking care of them. These are where I'm raising my grendel worms.
And what are you keeping those on just soil or something?
Well,
I'm
using peat moss. I went to Magic Worm Bedding. It's a company in Iowa, and I got 25-pound bales of that, and I like it better than anything I've used. I've tried using coconut fiber. I've tried using potting soil, and I like the Magic Worm Bedding peat the best. I think it's pretty neutral compared to a lot of peat moss, and it comes in clean, and they bring it to my door. So
nice.
that's
Can't
the
beat
way I do
that.
it. Now, if you want to look up, you probably can't show it on your phone or your camera. But those somehow I like the clear bulbs. They're at least 5,500K. I like the clear ones where I think they do a better job than the ones that are frosted.
Yeah, like the LED.
Lamps.
Yeah. So these are LED just in clear bulbs.
I get them off Amazon.
I've never even seen those. They're super bright.
Yeah.
They work really well.
Almost too well. That's why I moved that one up. It was putting out too much. That's a tank of male celestial pearl danios.
Oh, I love these fish.
And next to it is the tank with the females.
Oh, she's super prego.
And that's a tank of yellow hatchet fish. There's males and females both in there ready to be set up.
So have you got these to bred yet?
Yeah.
Really? I haven't had luck with mine. Are you keeping them in the tap water?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've accidentally raised a few. I've got, I think, 2 males and all the rest are females, I think. But they're ready to go.
And what do you do when you're ready to spawn these guys?
Well, I put mops or something like that in the bottom, just set up a pair and move them after 3 or 4 days.
Okay. Musical fish once again.
Either you luck out or you don't.
Right, right. Nice. Well, I'm gonna have to try that again.
Now that 5-gallon tank has a whole bunch of young adult celestial pearl danios, and this tank next to it has a bunch of fry that I'm raising up.
That moss is doing really well in that jar. That's surprising.
Yeah.
I always have issues when I'm trying to keep them in jars or something for breeding.
There's some little catfish in there, little panda catfish, and then little.
And this one?
And then a fry. There's a whole bunch of fries sporting around. Those are celestial pearl danios again.
Nice.
That's a pair of gardener eye.
Yeah. I love them killies. Beautiful.
That's another tank of gardener eye. Don't pay attention to the Elisoma Everglade eye sign up there.
I don't even know what those are.
Pygmy sunfish.
Oh, those are nice. Yeah, I could only imagine what all has been through this fish room. These are cool. Are these?
Well, I bought those as Rasbora Brigidae, and I don't think they are.
Huh.
They're just not patterned right. I think those fish are so small, when they catch them over there in Miramar or wherever in Southeast Asia, they just catch where they think they are, and sometimes you get that, sometimes you get something else. So I'm gonna keep those 5 by themselves and see if whatever comes out of it. I got plenty of tanks, so I can do it, so it's not a big deal. I'd have to. Oh, those are my little scarlet baddis.
These are the ones
They're starting to color up. I think they're big enough. I think I've only got 1 female. I bought a dozen, and I think I've only got 1 female. I might be lucky to have 2. And if you want me to, I can show you a big male killifish in here. See if we can get over there. There, get away. He was out a little bit ago. Of course, that's a little. That's a big male gold gardener eye.
He is big. Wow, I've never seen one that big.
He's the daddy of all these ones we've been looking at. And I think I must have a cross, or I haven't maintained the strain as good as I should, because they're throwing normal colors and golds. So, but they're all just Gardnerite.
Oh yeah, he just went up there with the female.
He's a happy fella.
I could imagine he's living the dream right now. Looks like you got more here.
That's just more guard. Yeah, there's males and females in there both. I've got some good gold Gardnerite males and females. That's a male right there you're looking at, I think. And then the others are just normal colors.
Beautiful. More down on the bottom too.
Yeah, there's Gardnerite there, and I think I've just got one Bivittata in there. I think I lost the male over the cold spell. And this tank I'm breaking down, this 30 long. I've got Cardinal Tetras in there that are about 3 years old, and the Royal Emprecles Carrii, the Royal Tetra.
Oh, I love those.
I've got a pair in there, and I got another male over here and another thing.
Nice.
I'm going to move those two pictures. That's what I got the last time I set up a pair of long fin white clouds. I got 5 babies, and so sometimes I can say sometimes you win, sometimes you don't.
Right.
But they'll grow up and be nice.
And the color as babies, they really pop.
Yeah, they are. And those are some of my guppies that accidentally raised up. Well, those ones I showed you that I was cleaning out. Those are the ones they raised up. So. Yeah, here's just orange platies. And next to those are supposed to be maple guppies, maple leaf guppies. A friend of mine got them for me out of Japan. But these are the young, and they've got deformed backs. So I don't know whether I'm going to try to raise them or not. I'm not very happy with the deformity.
Yeah.
They're kind of neat fish other than that.
It happens though.
Those are the scarlet endlers. Or bright scarlet endlers, or red scarlet endlers, whatever they call them.
I like these endlers.
Got a few babies. Nothing in there except Nubias.
Yeah, look at all these. Holy moly, it's a whole army. They're everywhere.
I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to get them out of there, because I don't want to tear the tank up.
Have to put a bunch of green beans in a trap, I guess.
That's what I'm going to try. Gallon tank, and the majority of plants in there are the temple plant, the hydrophilia. I don't know what the scientific name is. And I've got a lot of crypts in there, even though I took most of them out and took them to the fish club the other night. And then there's a great big Upon-A-Geetan, I think it's Uvacalis, that I've had for about 8 years. It's growing really well right now.
And these strands off the top are super long.
I've tried raising them. I've been able to pollinate some of the little ones, and I can't seem to be able to figure out how to raise it. So I finally decided I'm tired of raising it. Or trying to.
I love how your filters just got a bunch of algae. Talk about natural filtration.
Makes a lot better looking, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's actually very beneficial too. And what do you just throw wood blocks in here for the bristles?
Well, yeah, a friend of mine had a bunch of cherry wood and wanted to know if I won some of it for smoking and cooking in my smoker. And I said no, but I'd like to have some of it for the ancestors to nibble on. Apparently, the safest wood you can get is fruit wood.
Really?
And if you get the bark off of it, that's even better. Just cut it in chunks, and The newer it is, the longer it'll last. 'Cause they chew it down pretty fast.
So is it a harder wood or a
Yeah, it's
softer
hard.
wood?
It's a hardwood. But it doesn't have any, as far as I know, it doesn't have resins and crap hole in it like the other stuff does. There's mostly red ram's horn steels. There's a few nearite steels in that tank too.
Oh, there's a big bristlenose in there. It's in that cave. So have they been breeding in here? Is that why you have so many, or?
Yeah, there's a female, there's a male and a female in there. They kick them out pretty regularly.
Oh yeah, there's the female. The male's in the cave. There's gotta be hundreds in here. Hundreds and hundreds of plecos. That is a cool tank. What about this one next to it?
Well, that's got some leftover rainbow fish and a nice herd of Odessa barbs. And there's a pair of ancestors pretty much like the ones you just looked at. But I think the Odessa barbs are eating all the eggs and fry. That's what I think. Every once in a while I see a little one, but I've never seen any grow up.
That would make sense to me, because these guys are always hungry.
Yeah. And
Beautiful
they are
barbs.
fast.
Yes, they are.
The nice part of it is they're easy to trap. I use a minnow trap. I can get them all out.
Really?
2 or 3 days and out they come.
Really? A lot of Val, Italian
Yeah, I
Val.
don't know which valve it is. It isn't jungle valve, but it's one that gets about 4 feet long.
Yeah. I think it's the Italian. It's all the way up to the top. I love this tank. Just how the fish are in the val and everything. This tank's unique.
Now the interesting part of that setup is that with those big rainbow fish, they eat all the duckweed.
Oh, up here?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
They got it all cleared out, and I've never had any of that back. Big rainbow fish are not very fast at it, but they'll eventually eat all the duckweed.
Interesting. You know I love my rainbow fish. I didn't know they like duckweed though. More of these long fin white clouds, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and the swordtails in there are Zophophorus nezicoiota. They call them Nezi swords, and they're from around somewhere in the neighborhood of Mexico City originally. And that's my favorite swordtail. And they're real perky, and the males are always posturing.
Lots of things. This is like a 125, but it's a 180, you said?
It's a 180, yeah.
Just a
2
lot
foot
deeper.
I think it's 2 foot by 2 foot by 6 feet long.
I love the footprint of it. That's a huge log.
Yeah, it's hollow, but I had to put a brick in it to keep it laying down. So.
What kind of sword is this?
That's a black Amazon sword. I don't know the scientific name.
And next over here, this humongous tank. What did you say this was? How big was this?
That's a 300-gallon plexiglass tank.
It just keeps going.
My favorite fish in there are the Denison barbs.
Oh yeah.
But I did buy, and 2 years ago, I bought a dozen black ruby barbs, and they were spectacular. These guys are kind of getting long in the tooth now, but they're spectacular.
Those are pretty. You don't see those very often either. So are these striped ones the same type of barb?
Oh, pardon?
The striped ones, are those the same type
Oh,
of
those
barb?
are the
or
black
those-
ruby barb females.
Okay,
The one with the red head's the male,
okay.
and the striped ones are the females.
Nice. What's this guy?
Oh, that's a Julidochromis gombe transcriptus, I think. Anyway, it's a transcriptus. I've tried to get him out there 2 or 3 times, but he hides in a place in that log, I can't get him out of there, so I guess he's going to have to die of old age. He's been in there 6, 7 years.
Wow.
Oh, look, there's. Oh, that ain't the big ancestors. Oh, there's a great big ancestors in the back there. If you can look right over here, look where I'm pointing. Look toward the bottom and the back.
Oh yeah, he is huge. Long fins, super long fins. He's ginormous. The other Julia chromis is over on this side.
There's 2 of them in there.
Yeah, beautiful.
I hate both of them.
Do you? Just because you can't get them out?
I can't get them out, and they won't die. They think life's pretty good in there.
I don't blame them. Look at your thing. That's living. Trying to get this in a whole view for you guys, but it's hard to do because it's so big.
This friend of mine brought back that great big piece of driftwood from Shamanahook Bayou down in Louisiana. He drug it out with a winch, and it's been eaten down by ancestors for a long time. But that's the only tank it would fit in, because it's twists around and goes up there to the right, and it was over 7 feet tall when I got it. I had to break some of it off to get it in there.
Nice. Absolutely beautiful tank. And you got the CFLs or the LED? Looks like the LEDs
Those
on
are
top of
LEDs.
here. That's pretty thick.
Yeah.
Acrylic. Nice. Alright, well, you got any tips for anybody who's in the hobby?
Well, I'm going to quote the best fish person I know, Rosario LaCourte. He said the secret to raising a lot of fish is feed them good and change the water.
I believe that. So there you have it, Charley Grimes' fish room. Now, he actually downgraded, so that fish room used to have a lot more tanks in it. And he has bred I don't know how many fish. It's crazy. But like he said, he's been doing it for 60 years. I want to thank Charley for having me over, talking fish and tanks with me. I hope you guys learned something. I know I did. And till next time. Oh, wait. I gotta show you something. And I gotta thank Charley for the bristlenose plecos that he let me have, because he's just awesome like that. And he had a few to spare. And I have some dirty tanks, so I'll feed them up. He gave me quite a bit, which is awesome. And he also gave me a trio of longfin white clouds, which I'm excited about these. Real excited about these. He actually gave me a pair. I fished out 3. But he didn't say no, so thank you, Charley. I appreciate it. Look at them things, they're beauts. Definitely gonna have to try breeding these. And he also gave me some crypts. This is Mola Mani, the bigger crypt in here, which was shown in the first tank, and the other one he was calling Shed Eye, because he got them from the Chicago aquarium called the Shed, which is actually the oldest aquarium in the United States and the first one that was built. So I thought that was cool. I've never seen the Shed Eye. I know it's not its real name, but I haven't seen that crypt before, so. And he offered it to me, and I was like, okay, yeah, definitely. I love me some crypts, you guys know that. Alright, so there you have it. Thanks again, Charley. Until next time, everybody. Peace.